In this video, I wanted to talk about denying versus validating emotions and inner experiences. This is so vital in adoption and adoptees because it's very confusing being the only adopted child in your family or just being an adoptee in general. But just a reminder, you are speaking to a child that may be experiencing the 7 core issues of adoption. Not all adoptees experience these things. Many are in denial, known as adoption fog. And this channel is for those who are struggling. So, what is the actual problem? Just concerning the validation versus denying emotions, it is concerning the losses of the 7 core issues that go denied by society, mental health facilities, professionals, and in the homes of adopted children. And this channel is mostly centered on infant adoption since that's what I am and that's my experience. So that's what I feel like I'm most qualified to speak on. So the Primal Wound, I'm not going to read these, but you can pause this if you want. It's basically saying the wound is real. We have suffered a devastating loss and that our feelings about this are legitimate and need to be acknowledged rather than ignored and challenged. The most common thing in adoption is our feelings and experiences are mostly ignored. That's what leads to the adoption fog and denial of these 7 core issues. Adoptees need to know that their experience was real. You can pause that there and read that. It's a very good book. The Primal Wound is probably one of the best books on adoption, infant adoption. Adopted children often do not have the words to describe their internal feelings, especially concerning the 7 core issues and racial differences. That is because most of it is pre-verbal. It happened to us at birth, being separated by our mother, losing our whole family tree, losing our original birth certificate, a bunch of other things, our heritage, culture, a bunch of stuff we lose by being separated from our family. So what is the solution? Learning to understand the 7 core issues in adoption, racial differences, learning to acknowledge, validate feelings, and truly listen. Showing that you see them and what they're going through, and it is a skill that can be learned. Parenting is very complex and very hard, and raising an adopted child that is not biologically yours, I think you need more skill for it. I mean, I think that's just a fact. So, helping your child with their feelings, what can you do? You can listen with full attention. This is from the actual book, How to Talk So Kids Will Listen. So you can listen with full attention, acknowledge their feelings with the word, give their feeling a name, and give them their wishes and fantasy. And in this book, it describes how you can do that. And I have some examples, but obviously I can't go through the whole book. If you want to read it, it is a great book. So an example of denying in the book, this girl has lost a turtle. And what most parents do is they say, don't get so upset, don't cry, it's not that big of a deal. Stop that, I'll get you another turtle. And you're being unreasonable. And then the bottom it says it's strange. When we urge the child to push away a bad feeling, however kindly, the child seems to get only more upset. Now, validating the child's experience goes something like this. She tells the dad the turtle's dead, and he says, "Oh, what a shock." Basically acknowledging that that's a big deal for her. I taught him to do tricks. You two had fun together. Basically acknowledging that they did have fun together, that what's important to her, what she's feeling is real, what she missed is important to him as the father. He was my friend. To lose a friend can hurt. You really cared about that turtle. I fed him every day. And it's basically, it says on the bottom, parents don't usually give this kind of response because they fear that by giving the name of the feeling, they'll make it worse. But just the opposite is true. The child who hears the words for what she is experiencing is deeply comforted. Someone has acknowledged her inner experience, and that's what it's all about. So some resources to help out with this. Obviously, the book, How to Talk So Kids Will Listen, How to Listen So Kids Will Talk, 7 core issues in adoption and permanency. This can help you understand the adopted child. The Primal Wound, probably one of the best books written on adoption and being separated from your mother and the effects that it has. Reclaim Compassion, The Adoptive Parent's Guide. Parenting in the Eye of the Storm. This is for parenting adopted teens, which can be very challenging. I was an adopted teen once. I won't get into that. Foster and Adoptive Parenting. 20 Things Adopted Kids Wish Their Adoptive Parents Knew. This one is on the subject of validating and entering your adopted child's world, something I wish my parents read, and I just believe that it can be very, very helpful in an adoptive family.